station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This afternoon, it's a day game. We're at Busch Stadium. The homestand comes to a close, and it's game number 4. The LA Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. And what a win last night. The 2-0. Fowler, a drive, deep right field. Track, wall, the lead. Dexter goes deep. A little fist pump and a chance in a win for Martinez. His 7th of the year. And it's 2-1 St. Louis. Cardinals take game 3 in dramatic fashion, and welcome to game number 4. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is here as well. So Dexter with the heroics late, but a great pitching performance by Carlos Martinez.
Martinez was sharp again. He finished off a terrific month of May, and he did it against a Dodger team, Dan, that had won 6 straight games. Carlos was pounding the strike zone, ends up with 9 strikeouts, a lot on sliders down in the zone against a predominantly left-handed hitting club. Martinez was terrific.
He's back to 500. The club is as well, and they'll turn to Adam Wainwright here this afternoon.
Wainwright had a good May as well. Wainwright is changing speeds on all of his pitches. We'll watch for that today.
Brandon McCarthy off to a great start for the Dodgers. He gets the call for LA. It's game number 4. Brandon McCarthy against Adam Wainwright. The Dodgers, the Cardinals. It's coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Back at Busch Stadium, the home of the Cardinals, wrapping up a homestand here this afternoon. We turn to the State Farm perfect pair from last night, Carlos Martinez and Seung-Hwan Oh.
The red-hot Dodgers had a heavy dose of sliders yesterday. Martinez on the left, Oh on the right. Seung-Hwan Oh picking up save number 12 on the season.
Adam Wainwright with our first pitch. We'll have the starting lineups and Game 4. It comes your way next. Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Overcast skies, but a very nice day here in St. Louis. Glad that you're with us. It's Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Along with Rick Horton, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is here as well. Let's take a look at our BJC healthcare difference makers. Carlos Martinez, Adam Wainwright in the month of May. 11 starts combined and a record combined of 7-1. Those two have been terrific.
Starting pitching has been a plus all season from the Cardinals. They actually have the lowest ERA among all starters in baseball at 3.22. But Wainwright and Martinez both off the slow starts, but they've joined in on the fun.
With the win last night, the Cardinals are 25-25. A game and a half back of Milwaukee. They're 28-25. The rest of the Central is under 500. The Cardinals will be in Chicago tomorrow afternoon. Adam Wainwright racing to the mound, and away we go here in game number 4. Adam with a record of 5-3. You get a look at Dave Roberts. They're 33-21. Brandon McCarthy 5-1 this year. Gets the call today. And the lineup for Roberts and the Dodgers: Taylor, Seager, and Bellinger, followed by Gonzalez, Utley, Hernandez, Barnes, Puig, and McCarthy. What are you looking for as you get a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal from Adam Wainwright?
Well, there's the 4 pitches for Wainwright: fastball, curve, cutter, and changeup, and how he uses them in terms of percentage. But the key for Wainwright is going to be how he changes speeds within those pitches. We saw last time out the slow get me over curveball. Then he'd throw a harder one. He did the same thing with his cutter, and he also changed speeds with the fastball. So I'm going to be interested here this afternoon, Dan, on how he varies the speed of each one of his 4 pitches.
A look at Derek Lilliquist, the Cardinals hitting coach, the leadoff man for the Dodgers. This afternoon will be Chris Taylor. He's been up and down their lineup. He's batting .316 with 6 home runs, and he's driven in 19. And another start for the injured Jock Peterson in center field. Adam Wainwright has pitched 6 innings or more in each of his last 10 regular season starts against the Dodgers. 9 of them quality. That's the longest streak against LA among active pitchers in Major League Baseball. So here is Taylor. He'll lead it off. And the first pitch is taken for a ball upstairs.
What a difference a day makes. 2 games ago, the Cardinals play a 4-hour game, and they lose for the 3rd straight time, and it just seems like everything's falling apart. And then Martinez gets everything back on track. It's a new day, a new attitude here at the ballpark.
You mentioned that slider of Carlos Martinez. Very good last night. Very effective. What is he doing?
You're asking the wrong guy.
There's that breaking ball at 73 miles per hour. Taylor in the month of May hit .322 in 28 games. He's played second, third, shortstop, and today his 9th start in center field. And the 1-2. Missed inside. Cardinals defensively around the horn is presented by Dobbs. Pham, Fowler, Piscotty in the outfield. Jerko, Diaz, DeYoung, and Carpenter on the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate. So again, varying speeds with that breaking ball.
Interesting pitching matchup here this afternoon with Brandon McCarthy and Adam Wainwright. They're both 6'7", and they both came to the big leagues in 2005, long time ago. A lot of experience between the two of them. McCarthy's been hurt a lot in his career, but Wainwright, for the most part, has been healthy. He's had, of course, the 2 stints on the disabled list.
And a strikeout to start the afternoon. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
Locates the fastball well. Yachty wants it outside. It does come back over the plate a little bit, so a little more middle than I thought. But it had a little bit of life to it at the end. That's a key for Wainwright as well. I think the velocity has not really diminished for Adam. Maybe some of the finishing bite to some of his deliveries, but that one was sharp.
69 miles an hour with the curveball. Corey Seager at the plate, the shortstop. And the 0-1. Major League Baseball revealed its first All-Star balloting update. That was Tuesday. Corey Seager leading among all National League shortstops, trying for a 2nd consecutive selection to the Midsummer Classic. And the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Marty Foster is calling the balls and strikes. Mike Winters, the crew chief, at first. Mark Wegner at second. Mike Majlinski is down at third. The 2-1 pitch. Little tapper that Wainwright takes. Underhands to Carpenter for the out.
Good start for Adam. One of the things we've noticed in his last few starts as we look at the delivery of Wainwright and him fielding his position, which he does very well. He's got a lot of weak contact, and you would put that in that category of weak contact. Hitters were squaring him up pretty well in the first 5 or 6 starts that he had of the season, but he has figured out a much better formula.
Here's Bellinger, fights it off, and a foul ball for strike 1. Well, we always say it. It's a game of adjustments and advanced age. A lot of wear and tear on the arm and the body of Adam Wainwright, and he's made the adjustment.
And he's been very adamant about saying that he hasn't had diminished stuff, diminished ability, and he is defiantly saying, you know, people can say what they want, but I can still pitch. And I like that attitude. I think you have to have that attitude. And whether you call it adjustment or plan B, whatever you say, I mean, I think there has been some adjustments for Adam, but all pitchers have that, even when you're young and pitching well.
I go back to 3 starts ago in which he basically ditched the cutter. It was fastballs and curves, and that was about it. There's a fastball taken high, 1-2.
And in his words, he gave his cutter a timeout.
Put him in the corner.
Put him in the corner. You can't come out. I want you to think about what you've done. Maybe we'll ground you for a week and you can come back and compete again.
Fights it off and it rolls foul. Cody Bellinger, 21-year-old, rated as the Dodgers' best prospect at the beginning of the season. Last year a Double-A All-Star, which he had 23 home runs in 114 games. The son of Clay Bellinger was a 2-time World Series champion with the Yankees, and Cody a 4th-round pick in 2013. When the Dodgers drafted him, they had no idea that he would hit for this kind of power. He had 1 home run his senior year in high school. 1. But has grown into that body.
Wow.
Slowly hit towards first. Glove by Carpenter, and a 1-2-3 inning for Adam Wainwright. Afternoon, his record sits at 5-1 with a 3.28 ERA. Cardinals trying to earn a split in the series. Dexter Fowler will lead it off, followed by Matt Carpenter and then Stephen Piscotty. Jed Jerko, Yadier Molina, Tommy Pham, Paul DeYoung had an RBI double last night. Aledmys Diaz drops to 8th in the lineup. Adam Wainwright will bat 9th, the pitcher, and the Hyundai pitch arsenal on Brandon McCarthy.
It's hard for me to not think about the line drive that McCarthy took off of his head in 2012. And for those that remember that moment, that was one of those devastating line drives. Actually had a fractured skull. He was pitching for Oakland at the time, and we've seen a number of those in the past, but that was a bad one, a really bad one. So it's just, to me, just thankful that he's been able to be back pitching again. All of his pitches are plus pitches: the curveball, the fastball, and the cutter, which he's using more than he has in the past.
0-2 the count on Fowler. It was his 7th home run last night in the 8th inning. 6 of the 7 have given the Cardinals a lead. Looks at 3 pitches and strikes out.
Dodgers like to pitch up in the zone. Didn't exactly hit his target, really right down central for Dexter. I think he was looking for something different, but we see the Dodgers, we talked about it yesterday, the Dodgers catchers love to give that high target at the top of the zone, especially with 2 strikes.
Here's Carpenter. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. Mentioned it last night. Daniel Ponce de Leon, who's in the Cardinals minor league system, was hit with a comebacker, fractured skull. and got the word yesterday he can travel, as he was hit against the Iowa Cubs and had to spend more than a couple of weeks in the hospital. Then he could not get on a flight and finally cleared to do that. Carpenter out to shallow right and a base hit. One out hit for Carpenter. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Bellinger, Taylor, Puig in the outfield. Kike Hernandez at third base. Corey Seager at short. Chase Utley at second. Adrian Gonzalez at first. And Austin Barnes is behind the plate. Schools are out. More kids coming to the ballpark. Bigger crowds. These two teams lead in attendance in the National League. Dodgers slightly ahead of the Cardinals in the average attendance. A little bigger market.
Bigger venue.
Here's Stephen Piscotty with a couple of hits last night. Jim told the story of Stephen. Mother was diagnosed with ALS. That's why he left the club. Went to be with her, and they watched the Cardinals. It had to be odd. You're always seeing your son play, and then all of a sudden he's sitting next to you on the couch.
I'm sure for the entire family, and I really can't speak for them, but you can imagine that there was a time where that just felt right, and he felt, and Stephen said, that was the right place for me to be, and then it's the right place to be, and then I'm sure they all came to the conclusion that the right place for him to be was playing again and doing what he does for a living. And so it's hard to say when that's going to be, and it took 5 days for Stephen to get to that point, and it was nice to have him contribute last night. I think that was a nice part of the Cardinal victory, that he did contribute offensively.
And a fastball at 93 and second strikeout here in the bottom of the first. Brings in Jed Jerko.
The high fastball again, the high target, hits his spot.
Jim Hayes will have some news on Jed coming up in the second inning. Jed telling me in the clubhouse today, mama, baby, all family members, everybody doing well.
That's great.
The father of twins and now a brand new baby. So 3 young children in the Jerko family. 2 outs, runner at first. And Jerko singles out to right center. Carpenter rounding second on his way to third.
Jed Jerko has used all fields to get to this average over 300, and another example of him going the other way on a ball down and away. Off-speed pitch. Jerko, one of the few Cardinals, if you look at top to bottom, you'd probably add Tommy Pham to the list of guys who performed better than you thought they would coming out of spring training as far as their numbers. Everybody else is probably below.
I think you expected the power from Jerko, maybe not the 300+ average. Here's Molina. Cardinals have to be keenly aware of the fastball of Brandon McCarthy. He struck out Fowler on a fastball. Piscotty as well. One looking, the other swinging. He now has 43 strikeouts this year, 30 of which have been on the fastball.
Oh, he's been a good control pitcher too in his career, averaging a little over 2 walks a game.
So there's that cutter right there.
Cutter's been sharp. Again, that's been his plus pitch of late. Injuries have kept him from being the guy that maybe he's a 15-20 game winner. Just only one time in his career has he had 30 starts. And he's been around, as we mentioned, a long time, since 2005.
0-2 the count on Yadier Molina. And Molina pops it up. This is Barnes, and he makes the catch. So the Cardinals strand 2. We head to the second, and there's no score here in St. Louis. the first, cannot capitalize. There's a look at Jed Jerko. There's no score. With more on Jed, let's check in with Jim.
Dan, Jed is at third base today. He'll be taking a couple of days of paternity leave starting tomorrow, and then he'll join the Cardinals in Chicago on Sunday. Maybe that Magnera Sierra will be promoted to take Jed's spot for those couple of days, but Mike Matheny declined to reveal who it will be. Dan Mike said he'd like to see how today's game goes in case some other need arises. Could be an infielder like Valera from Memphis. We're just not sure right now, Dan.
All right, thank you, Jim. Sierra's so much fun to watch. Be inserted maybe into that lineup at Wrigley Field.
Well, you know from our conversations in spring training that Breivik Valera is the guy I like the best. And I'm not saying he has the bigger upside in terms of power and all that, but I thought he was at a lot of good big league at bats. He's a switch hitting second baseman, and I think he's got a nice future. Really like his approach, his swing.
So plus defensively,
we'll see him eventually. There'll be a time. But Sierra, I think you're right. The excitement that he brought to the Cardinals lineup, that was a fun week when he was hitting right next to Pham in the lineup. The two of them were really where the production was coming from.
Really carried the team when you think about the series in Miami. Wound up being a sweep of the Marlins. Marlins really struggling now at 21-30. Washington leads in the East by 9.5 games, and it's a tight race currently in the West. The Dodgers with a half-game lead over Arizona and Colorado. San Diego and San Francisco both 11.5 games out. Two balls and two strikes. Just got a piece to stay alive. The story in the American League, undoubtedly Houston. 38-16 and an 11-game lead over the Angels in the West. Not many holes in that team. Good starting pitching, especially with the return of Dallas Keuchel to his Cy Young form.
I think Texas will make a run at them at some point. I think they've got a good club, underachieved to this point. Not sure about the Angels. The Angels, some days you like them, some days you don't. With Trout out, that's going to be tough to overcome. And we're waiting on number 600 for Albert Pujols.
Did not get it last night. Was watching every one of those at bats last night. 2-2 the count on Adrian Gonzalez. Just turned 35, back on the 8th of May. Now in his 6th year with the Dodgers. And the 2-2. He was traded to Texas after being a former #1 overall pick for Uget Urbina. Then traded to San Diego in 06. 2010 he was part of the Anthony Rizzo 9-player deal with the Boston Red Sox, and then the Dodgers picked him up. 3-2 out to center, but there's Fowler casually putting it away. It'll be a big day and big weekend for Dexter Fowler, receiving his World Championship ring.
Dexter is certainly going to have a fun weekend. We talked yesterday about the unique style of catching the ball in the middle of his chest. You just don't see outfielders catch the ball that low and that centered. And again, everybody's got their own style, what you grew up doing, what you got used to doing, and you just have to be careful not to overcoach what is natural for a player.
Here's Chase Utley, and a fastball on the inside corner. Last year he hit .252. He's got 5 hits in this series.
I think people wonder about that with big league coaches, what their day is like in terms of helping guys make adjustments. I'd say the coaching at this level is you're really gently steering. You know, you're encouraging guys. You're trying to find out what they do well and remind them of what they do well and help them get back to what they do well if they get off track. But you know, it's not, you know, they're not 10 years old. They're not going to totally revamp where their elbow is, and they're way past that. I mean, they're big leaguers. They're the best hitters on the planet. So the coach has to understand that, and they do, and gently steer in a positive direction.
2-1 pitch. Trying to pound Utley inside in this at bat. So I think what you're saying is that you look at the strengths of a hitter and then try to capitalize on those and make it even better.
Yeah, and if something is wrong, you just don't overhaul them. You just make a minor adjustment.
3-1 pitch. 3-2. And a look there at Mike Schilt. He's the quality control coach of the Cardinals, longtime minor league manager.
Cardinal fans are going to get to know him better as time goes on. He's a very good baseball man, very sharp, very well liked, won at every level that he managed in the minor leagues, and players really respond to him.
1-out walk in the first base runner for the Dodgers. Let's turn to our Toyota keys to the season.
We look at 2016, 2017. The Cardinals are not scoring as many runs. In fact, almost a run and a half less per game, and that's been the reason why they're 25-25. The starter's ERA has actually improved from a season ago. And when you look at 2016, you're not looking at a team that really ran away with anything anyway. The first time the Cardinals under Mike Matheny did not go to the playoffs. And you're hoping to improve on that, and the only way to do that is you're going to have to score more runs somehow, some way.
Starting pitching has been at times remarkable.
Sure has.
0-1 the count on Kike Hernandez. He was in right field last night, third base today. And the 0-1. You mentioned something the other day I found very interesting with all the different start times the Dodgers have on this road trip, that Dave Roberts using that as an opportunity to rest some players.
He looked ahead on the schedule, saw that 7 games on this road trip, all 7 different starting times for whatever reason. They just happen to be different start times. The holidays have something to do with that. But he felt that that would throw off the clocks of his players, so he is making sure all of his key players get at least a day off. No Puig yesterday, no Seager the day before, no Grandal today. I think he's trying to be careful about making sure his players are well rested.
The first game was 3:15, then 6:05, 7:15 last night, and today 12:45. 1-2 pitch. Might be easier for a team located in the Central for the Cardinals to deal with some of those times that shift, but when you're coming from the West Coast, you know it. You played for the Dodgers. It's a different animal.
Very different. You're talking about your East Coast trip. That's a long trip.
Oh yeah.
You're going to go from LA to New York, and it just affects your body differently. The worst travel in baseball is the Seattle Mariners.
Oh man, terrible. Here's a 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Strikeout number 2 on the afternoon for Wainwright.
This isn't the slow curveball, it's the sharper one. 75 miles an hour. He went down as low as 65 miles an hour on his curve his last time out. Again, that's the change of speeds we're talking about. So you see the spin, and you may recognize curveball, but if you can't recognize the speed, you still could be out in front of it.
Here's Austin Barnes hitting .273. 2 outs, runner at first.
Curveball, the signature pitch of Adam Wainwright. The spike grip, the fingers on top of the ball, pulling it down. When your fingers get on the side of the baseball, the ball just spins and hangs. So you have to have your fingers on top and pull down.
And the pitch taken low. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs and a runner at first. So Barnes getting the start today, and Grandal will come off the bench. Both these clubs with only 4 bench players. And the 1-0 pitch. Fans at home will hear slider cutter? What's the difference between the two?
Well, I would say it's actually a minimal difference, but hitters know the difference because they're harder to hit for different reasons. The slider's flatter. It's not going to break down as much. It's going to break on one plane, just across the plate. From a right-handed pitcher, it's going to break away from a right-handed batter on the same plane. The slider will actually go across the plate from right to left and down. So the hitter has the burden of recognizing which it is, and Mike Leake, in my mind, has been effective this year because he's been able to disguise those two pitches as being very close to one another. And you get some weak contact when the hitter swings at the wrong pitch or the pitch he doesn't think he's getting.
LAN AT SLN tomorrow against John Lackey. Leake will go on Saturday against John Lester, Michael Wacha, Kyle Hendricks Sunday night.
Got a whole month more to pitch, Mike Leake, but at the moment he's an all-star.
I totally agree. You mentioned something interesting to me last night. We were trying to figure out who could possibly be all-stars, and we looked at Jerko, we looked at Leake, and then maybe Su Wang-Oh too.
He's third in the National League in saves. He had a very good month of May. And you know, of course, it's a little bit like predicting Rookie of the Year and MVP on June 1st. You don't know because you can't talk about a third of a season and say that's what how a guy's going to end up. But if you had to say right now, O would be in that conversation. Well, he'd be in the conversation, but he would need Eugene to be a part of that conversation.
Good point. Talked to Eugene in the clubhouse today, again trying to convince him to do a sit-down interview. Just Eugene, no Mr. O, just Eugene with Jim Hayes.
In Korean?
No, sir. There's a base hit into left center field. And Utley on his way to third, so runners at the corners for the Dodgers. Here in the top of the second with 2 outs.
I have a suggestion for Eugene. Look at that delivery from Wainwright. That one hung, and Barnes capitalized on it. Here's how you package it. You package it that you're going to interview Alex and Eugene together about what it's like to be an interpreter at the big league level. So it's not all about him. He's got he and Alex together. That's
a good way to do it.
I'm going to just throw that out there for you.
Eugene is quite the character. He said to me that we, the broadcasters, are extremely popular in Korea because anytime that O comes in a game, it's all over the place in Korea. Fouled back by Puig. They at least initially started Austin Barnes towards second. If you did that, you might be doing the Cardinals a favor. First base would be open. If he steals the bag, you'd walk Puig and deal with McCarthy.
Yeah, I don't think you do that. I think you have to just let Puig take his rips. 29 RBIs out of the 8th spot.
Not too shabby. Here's an 0-1 pitch. Wainwright now, and time is called by Yasiel Puig.
The Dodgers have been waiting for Puig to become a great player.
And the 0-1. Off the end of the bat, little squibber hit to short and out at second base. Barely. A lot of English on that baseball too. Is hit off the end of the bat, and Diaz just beat Barnes to the bag. United telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Make sure you go big when the Cardinals go big. Coffee fountain, frozen drinks, any size drink, just 50 cents. The next day at On the Run, Redbird scores 6. Keep the celebration going. Stop by On the Run tomorrow. And make sure you take in that thirst-quenching win. You earned it. Here's Tommy Pham. It'll be Pham, DeYoung, and Diaz.
Be interested, Dan, if you could come up with off the top of your head, because you got so many things going on in that brain of yours, as we all know. The kind of pitcher that when they're good, they're really good. But when you get to them, you might get 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 runs against them. And I say that because that's a little bit of the reputation of Brandon McCarthy.
I got one right away.
And I'm thinking of a couple.
Aaron Harang.
Giovanni Gallardo.
Sure.
Jaime Garcia.
When they get rolling, though, very tough to beat. 2-1 pitch.
And that's still a guy you want, because if he can dominate, he dominates. You know, the key will be for the pitching coach and the manager to realize when the wheels come off, get the car off the road. Aaron Harang, that's a good one.
2-2 and a swing and a miss. Third strikeout for McCarthy. You mentioned that horrific play that he was a part of, the comebacker and the fracture of the skull. And there's pictures of him in the hospital. He's very active on social media, so you saw some of those. The guts that it takes to get back on the mound, not just, you know, get back in playing shape, but mentally the guts that it takes to get back on the mound, and that's what McCarthy has done. Here's Paul DeYoung.
Well, every pitcher understands what I'm saying here is the first time you get back there, we look at the DeYoung family, who I guess have gotten season tickets.
Apparently so.
Why not?
And we will have a reaction to 10,000 of his at-bats this wonderful career that he'll put together.
Yeah, DeYoung's not getting paid because all of his money is going to tickets for his friends and family, but that's okay. He's in the big leagues. He's happy.
Here's a 1-1.
But Dan, the thing that the pitcher has to overcome once you've been hit is finishing your pitches. Because what you'll do is you'll cut them off because you'll be bracing for a reaction. It's subconscious kind of defense mechanism.
2-1 is lined into center field.
And then you might get some flashbacks.
That's why I brought it up. I was thinking of the Carlos Martinez comebacker last night.
Yep.
And you see it all the time. Balls like this, back up the middle.
And that last pitch was exactly what we were talking about. McCarthy has to finish the delivery, and you have to finish that delivery way out in front, and he's still following through with his back leg, and the ball's already past him. That's a perfect look at that. His back leg had not finished throwing the pitch, and the ball was past him.
Here's Aledmys Diaz. One of the reasons the Cardinals signed and drafted Paul DeYoung is because of exit velocity. That one was 98 off his bat, 98 miles per hour. They're looking for ways to get power. How do we generate power? How do we look for it in the minor leagues, in drafts? And one of the, now I would say it's standard in the industry that clubs look at ways to get that power is look at exit velocity. And he's kind of the poster child for that. Also, you think about his double hit yesterday over Taylor, and there's a look at John Mozeliak. It's also the backspin that we talk about with exit velocity led to a double and an RBI, and he's got both of those that they really like. 3-1 the count.
That's one of those things that's measurable too, and you know, scout doesn't even have to be there to measure that. Been having many conversations with baseball people talking about the state of the game, and there's this, especially among guys who've been around longer. Rick Monday and I were talking about it yesterday. one of the broadcasters for the Dodgers, longtime broadcaster, terrific player in his time.
Did he get into eye test?
We didn't. No, we didn't get into that. Oh well, but an eye test is part of it. But it's even the kind of what kind of guy is he? So the scouting now is not so much advanced scouting, and you're not getting the boots on the ground, so to speak, to find out about what a player's really like. You can get all of his numbers. You know, we can email you his numbers. But Rick said you want to, and I agree. If you're around the guy for a while, sometimes you know that the guy is just the guy that's going to make you lose, and you don't even know how to describe that unless you've been a teammate. And I think he's onto something.
DeYoung was running on the last pitch. There he goes again. The 3-2. Back to McCarthy. Throws to Gonzalez. And advancing the Cardinals second baseman to second. And it brings in Adam Wainwright. Start the runner. May have avoided a double play. Slowly hit. Regardless, man at second base and a chance for Wainwright. Had a conversation with Rick Monday on the road trip, and we were talking about launch angle, exit velocity, and he said, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But I also got to go with the eye test.
Right. I think that's what most managers are managing with today that are in baseball. I think they use, enjoy, appreciate sabermetrics, the numbers, the advanced metrics, a lot of value to them, but at the end of it, there's still an eye test.
A swing and a miss by Wainwright. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Rick Monday saved the American flag from being burned in Dodger Stadium.
He's still honored by veterans groups annually for having done that.
And for fans who don't know, is a protester on the field in right field and was burning the American flag, and Rick Monday went and took it away, put the fire out, challenged the protester. The 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Dramatic World Series home run to his credit.
That's the other one.
He was one of the first bonus babies, as I recall, too, which was the terminology at the time for a player that was signing young for a lot of money. He was the #1 pick, I believe, in the draft.
Drive into deep left field. He's done it again. Wainwright, a long home run. 2-run shot. 2-0 Cardinals.
Second home run of the season for Wainwright, and that was not a bad breaking ball. It hung a little bit, but not much. And he went and got it over the Dodger bullpen. Thank you, Mr. Wainwright. You're welcome.
The curtain call for Adam Wainwright. Now Dexter Fowler. Who needs the DH?
Brandon McCarthy does. He's an 057 career hitter, and he's thinking this isn't fair. I got to pitch to that guy. It's like having another bat in the lineup.
So a 2-out, 2-run homer by Adam Wainwright. A strike to Fowler. His second of the year. And Fowler beats the shift on a 1-2 pitch. A single into shallow left. 3 hits in the inning and already 5 against Brandon McCarthy. So the 10th career home run for Adam Wainwright, followed by this base hit from the Cardinal leadoff man.
Straightaway shortstop, but the shift doesn't work that time. There's the swing, taking it the other way for Fowler.
And here is Carpenter with a base hit into shallow right, first time up. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike.
My numbers are right. That's home run number 10 for Wainwright in his career. And wonder if he has a story about each one of them.
You know he does. Now you remember when he broke into the big leagues, his first ever home run, first plate appearance against San Francisco. He's closing in on Bob Forsch, who is a former third baseman converted to a pitcher. Bob with 12 career home runs, third all time among pitchers in Cardinals history.
I once asked Bob Forsch how many career home runs he had, and he goes, "Oh, I don't know." It's like, you've got so many you don't know. That's unusual for a pitcher. If it's either 1, none, 2, but Forsch had so many he didn't really even know how many he had.
You?
None.
None.
I know.
Okay. He's got a ways to go, though, to get to Bob Gibson, who had 24.
Well, think about the three of the top Cardinal pitchers all time, and I don't know if Jess Haynes could hit or not. I'd have to look up his numbers, but Gibson, Forsch, Wainwright, all very good hitting pitchers.
Jack Stivitz with 14. He's number 2 on that list. And a ball and 2 strikes on Carpenter. Runner goes, and it's swung on and missed. Strikeout number 4 for Brandon McCarthy. But Wainwright went down to get that pitch. 10th career homer and a 2-0 St. Louis lead. All is brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by your local St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers. A pitch up and in to Brandon McCarthy to start the top of the 3rd. Carlos Zambrano is a terrific hitting pitcher. He had 24 career home runs. Madison Bumgarner with 16. We mentioned Bob Forsch. Fernando Valenzuela seeing the Dodgers. He had 10.
Babe Ruth had 714.
Yeah. Started as a pitcher. Could also throw Rick Ankiel in that conversation. Near the century mark in home runs for Rick.
My favorite home run by a pitcher ever, still, Joaquin Andujar, who called a home run. Speaking of Babe Ruth, who's a legendary story of him calling a home run in Chicago, Babe Ruth, pointing out the center field. Now, whether that was true or not, who knows? But Joaquin did call a home run with the bases loaded in Old Busch Stadium, and he hit it opposite-handed.
Now, where did he call it? Was it before the at-bat?
He was in the on-deck circle, and he kind of flexed his muscles. And, I mean, he was always talking and pointed out, said, "I'm going deep." And pointed out to the whole dugout. Went up there, bases loaded against Jeff Dedman.
Curveball and a strikeout for Waino. Now, how many times did Joaquin do that, though? So this one actually worked. Well,
very rarely would he hit left-handed. I mean, he tried it before when he was young, but he actually hit left-handed, right-handed batter. He had a few home runs right-handed, but none like that moment.
He, along with Bob Forsch, gone way too young. Now Chris Taylor, top of the lineup for the Dodgers. 2-0 our score. 85-mile-an-hour cutter. Taylor struck out his first time up.
He'll throw one a little slower, and he'll throw one a little harder.
The 0-1. Curveball and a beauty. 0-2. Boy, he has just been pitching. There's a difference between throwing and pitching.
There's an example. We saw the 75-mile-an-hour curveball. This is the 67. That's like a changeup. That's the changeup difference from a changeup to a fastball, and he's changing speeds on the curveball alone at that 9-mile-an-hour area.
The 0-2 fastball hit to DeYoung. 2 down. Cardinal pitchers lead all major league teams. 15 RBIs this year. Cubs second with 9. There's 2 down, and the batter is Corey Seager. Won the Silver Slugger Rookie of the Year, 3rd in the MVP a season ago. He was in that draft class of 2012. He was number 18 overall. Michael Wacha number 19. The draft that included for the Cardinals Piscotty, Carson Kelly, Tim Cooney, Cal Barraclaw, Rowan Wick, Patrick Wisdom. It's a heck of a draft class.
We've got a pretty good brother combination play in this game too, with his brother Kyle, who, when we saw him in Seattle, he's a player. He can hit, good fielder.
The 0-2.
His mom texted the friends that I met here at the ballpark during the game yesterday and reminded me that my grandmother and their grandmother used to hang out at baseball games together.
Is that right?
Yeah, so they were friends, watching baseball, sitting in lawn chairs.
Did you go tell Corey this?
I didn't get a chance to tell Corey.
Brother Kyle reached the major leagues in 2011 with Seattle. Fastball and struck him out. 4 today for old Uncle Charlie. Brandon McCarthy. What do we find out about him? Well, he is a devout follower of sabermetric websites, just like Rick Horton. Ooh, and that catches the home plate umpire, Marty Foster. Adam Olson, the Cardinals trainer. Check on Marty.
Mike Winters is the crew chief. Came in from first base. Get a look at it. The foul ball over the glove. Right arm. Looks like the bicep area. There really is no defense against that. We see catchers get hit, and you really just, part of the deal. You cannot brace for the foul tips, every potential, and that's certainly going to be a bruise for a home plate umpire. And again, that's part of their life, Dan.
I can't believe how many times a guy has been hit like that. You tell me they just need to rub some dirt on it, toughen up out there.
Man, you are so old school.
That has got to hurt.
Yeah, you go tell him that right now.
No, sir. I'm very comfortable in my seat.
Yes.
Both fouled by Piscotty. And a terrible, terrible play made by the ball boy. You got to be better than that. You got to get down. You got to get ready for those types of caroms off the wall.
It's a footwork problem. He just didn't get his feet settled. He tried to olay it a little bit.
You got to be better, Rick.
Well,
you come to the ballpark, you got to prepare.
He is laughing about it. He's just turning the page, Dan.
I think that's what you're implying I need to do. Piscotty out to right. Puig won't get there. Drops in for a base hit. They will not run on Yasiel Puig. Don't blame him. Base hit for Piscotty, who struck out his first time up.
I like the move of putting Piscotty into the third spot in the order today, by the way. He had a nice day, his first game back yesterday, a couple of hits, and, you know, just give him, while he's feeling good with that day yesterday, give him some more critical at-bats in the first part of this order. I think that's something he may respond to.
Maybe not necessarily the worst thing either to take a little time off, refresh, even though it's a tough family situation, but physically you might get a little bit more rest. You're not playing, you're not going through the rigorous schedule that these players have. You'd rather do that with different circumstances, certainly. Here's a 1-0. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Jed Jerko. Single to right center.
Cardinals still in search of the right combination for what their offensive character is going to become. And I think we are seeing so far a team that hasn't figured out how to score runs post Matt Holliday.
Good way to put it. Past the diving Seager into left. Piscotty around second, on his way to third. He's in there. Jerko to second. And the Cardinals have something going here in the bottom of the third.
I love the aggressiveness of Piscotty, and he may be thinking that Bellinger is not going to throw to third base because you're going to try to keep that runner off of second base. Bellinger likes to show off that arm. Fairly close play at third, so in his mind worth a shot. But the end result on the tumbling slide of Stephen Piscotty, wow, that hurts, is that Jerko gets to go to second.
He might hear a little bit from his teammates about that slide.
That's the start of the Dick Van Dyke Show when he trips over the ottoman.
Right.
Remember that move?
Oh, yeah.
One of the old blooper shows, they used to show players tripping and falling to that music. And I think that would be perfectly set to that particular Dick Van Dyke Show music.
A chopper hit to third off the bat of Molina. And he is the first out here in the bottom of the third. It brings in Tommy Pham. You were talking the other day about the vision of Tommy Pham, and down at the clubhouse I asked him this morning, I said, day game to night game, what happens? I said, day games can be very, very tough on me with a bright sun, and I'm trying to find sunglasses that will darken it a little bit for me, because it becomes a blur sometimes to try to catch the ball.
You know, the old school flip down shades that some players, very few players actually use those now. They more use the kind of the nicer sunglasses that you would wear, and they just wear them to hit. They wear them in the field, and they're not just the flip down kind. The flip down kinds are really dark, but the problem with that is you may lose the ball beyond that because it's just too dark. So players have to search for what works for them, cutting down the glare but not cutting down the acuity. And that's certainly a problem for Tommy Pham.
Cardinals need to at least get one in this situation. Pham to third, and Piscotty in a rundown. Jerko will advance to third base. Piscotty diving back in. Now out. And advancing to second base, it'll be Tommy Pham.
Well, Steve is just going on contact. The Cardinals now 2 batters in a row, and there's some discussion about whose base that is. And was Piscotty tagged before he got to the base or not?
I don't believe so.
Well,
he's retreating back to his original bag.
So the reality is, as they tag Piscotty, this should be a double play.
I agree.
Should have been a double play. The inning should be over.
Going back to the original bag, and then came off it.
Once Piscotty got back to the bag, it's his bag.
Exactly.
He came off it again. They tagged him. He should be out. I think they missed that call.
We had a similar play just like this with Yadier Molina in Pittsburgh a few years ago.
So 2 players on the base. Piscotty was on the base, so it's his base. He gets off the base. Now he's tagged. One of them is out automatically because there's 2 guys on the base. That's Jerko. And then when Piscotty gets up, he's out also. I think inning should be over.
Let me ask you this. As Piscotty, though, goes off the bag, then is tagged, so now he's committing towards home plate, giving up his original bag. So now he's tagged out. I
think when he touches the bag and there are 2 players on it, Jerko is out automatically. Now we'll be interested to see what the umpires say about that. Maybe they saw it differently. But we've seen it before. Tom Herr always on that call. That's something he used to be alert to and try to get the lead runner to get off the base, which Piscotty did voluntarily.
Inside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So here it is. This is in 2010. Trevor Miller throws to third. That's David Freese. And now watch Yachty with this play. This is so smart. Waits for him to come off the bag. There's the out. There's the double play.
Right.
That's hit down the left field line, hooking and foul. Yachty, we talked to him after that game, and he said, of course I knew the rule. I'm trying to get the lead man to feel that he's out and exit the bag, and that's a similar play that we just saw moments ago.
In that case it was LaRoche. In this case it was Piscotty, and they didn't even have to try with Piscotty. He just gave up the bag. I just think the umpire may have said that he was tagged before he got back to the bag, which I don't think is true, but I think that's what he saw.
And talking with Paul DeYoung today in the clubhouse, his mom works in human resources for Disney. Dad works at a company called Abbott. He's a software engineer. He is from Chicago, at least that area, about an hour outside Antioch, Illinois. And he said, a lot of Cub fans are my buddies, and we'll see them tomorrow. DeYoung with a single first time up.
Boy, it'd be nice if he could come through here. Otherwise, this would be a wasted inning for the Cardinals. Second and third, nobody out. 2 infield groundouts. Not the way you draw it up.
Notice that the third base umpire initially calling Piscotty safe and then out. That's pulled foul. Now time is called. 2-2 the count. Diaz is on deck.
Nice when it works out. Ferocious reaction in the background, not as happy.
A swing and a miss. And a strikeout of DeYoung. 5 today for McCarthy. A lot of activity at third base. The Cardinals miss a golden opportunity. Let's check in with Jim.
Dan, John Gant not only has that unusual delivery, he also has a unique way of throwing his changeup. It's sometimes called a Vulcan grip. It's called that because the ball is jammed between the middle fingers, like Mr. Spock is given the Vulcan salute, if you follow. Gant was on the pregame show. He told me he learned the grip from a coach at 8th grade baseball camp who said that's how his brother throws a changeup. Dan, John never used the grip until he got to pro ball and was told, you need a changeup. He said he went with the Vulcan grip because that's really all he knew.
It is a unique changeup, a good one. And certainly when you see him, folks, if you didn't watch any of our games in spring training, it is as unique a delivery that you'll see.
One of the things we like about him is he's a guy you can envision as a starter or as a reliever, a multi-inning reliever. I think Cardinals need that desperately right now. Somebody that can be a bridge guy to go a couple of innings in the middle of the game. Remember back, there was a moment where we thought Trevor Rosenthal in spring training would be that guy. 2 or 3 inning guy, bridge guy. Maybe Alex Reyes. Reyes gets hurt. Rosenthal is slowed and becomes more of a 1 inning guy, and now he's fine where he is. But the Cardinals still don't have that 6, 7, 8, 2 or 3 inning dominant type pitcher.
And an issue for the Cardinals is back-to-back days Rosenthal, Segrist. That's been relieved a little bit as we move forward in this season, but that's something to consider as well. The 2-2. Bellinger with a drive into right center. It's cut off by Piscotty. And it's a leadoff double. From the Cardinals' perspective, you hope they don't have to look back at the bottom of the third.
Boy.
As a difference in this game with runners at second and third and nobody out, did not score.
Curveball sat a little bit on the outer half. Bellinger breaks a 0 for 12.
We had to fill out our players of the month, pitcher of the month, rookie of the month. For me, that's my rookie of the month.
I know it's a secret ballot, but I looked. I saw that that's who you put.
You cheated.
I just glanced over.
That's how I used to explain that in high school.
Didn't cheat. I just glanced over.
Just glanced. It's no big deal. Gonzalez lines out to second.
I voted for him as well. And you had to give some serious consideration for him being player of the month.
I initially had him in there, and then I glanced at yours, and I thought, oh, wait a minute.
You
Charlie
copied off of
Blackmon.
me.
I did.
Yeah.
I forgot about Charlie Blackmon.
How can you forget about him? You just saw him.
Calm down. I did, okay? Let me off the hook here. How about your rookie?
Well, I saw that you put
Bellinger.
The rookie pitcher.
Blackmon. How about Wood for your pitcher?
Wood was my pitcher, and Herman Marquez, I copied that one off of you.
I actually glanced on that one at yours, at yours too. Throw to second, back in safely. A lot of different speeds. Ricky said he would take a look at this at the start of our telecast, and the variance has been outstanding.
4 miles an hour on the fastball. The cutter is 83, 4 and 5. Changeup's been the same. That's not as big an issue, but the variance on the curveball that's drastic. 10 miles an hour difference, and that's how he's been winning.
Curveball taken low. Two 2-0 the count on Chase Utley. They try to bust him inside his first time up. A lot of pitches in. Crowds the plate. Walked his first time up. And the 2-0. They want to go back in there again. 3 balls and no strikes. Kike Hernandez is at the on deck circle. Outfield is straight away. And a 3-0 pitch. Do they turn him loose? 3-1. Dodgers 28 years without a World Series title. Longest drought since the franchise moved from Brooklyn to LA in 1958. Three-1. Curveball, and it's taken low. So he's walked 2. Both have been Utley. Let's take a look at Arcia in the driver's seat, in particular Adam Wainwright, and what he's done here at home. Only Kershaw has been better at home ERA wise. 2.83 for Adam.
It's a lot of games, a lot of years too. A lot of starts. Been very consistent here in this ballpark.
So the active pitchers with one team. Here's Hernandez. And a fly ball lifted into right. Backing up Piscotty near the edge of the track. Makes the catch. Utley stays put at first base. Advancing to third, it's Bellinger.
Nice to have Steven back, and good form for an outfielder. You get behind it, you get moving towards the ball, you have momentum going in the direction of your throw. That's how you play the outfield.
Here's Austin Barnes with his single to left center. Runners at first and third. Hitting .267 with runners in scoring position this year. And he takes strike one. Last year, the Dodgers had a record number of stints on the DL. The way they're going this year, they will shatter that. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And it's 0-2.
Grant Dayton is their left-handed reliever du jour. Adam Liberatore on the DL for the second time. They've got this revolving group. They only have one left-handed reliever, but it's three different guys.
They've really manipulated the 10-day DL. Put a starter on, might miss one turn, and that's it. Here's the 0-2 pitch. You just joined us. The Cardinals a 2-run lead. Adam Wainwright's 10th career home run, a 2-run shot. And was back in the second inning. Here's a 1-2. Diaz a stop, flip, the out. Terrific play. Aledmys Diaz takes the hit and RBI away. He robs Austin Barnes. The force play at second keeps the Dodgers off the board. Fox Sports Go app. All the programming, Cardinals baseball. Stream the Cardinals wherever you go. Download the app, Fox Sports Go. Wrapping up the homestand here today. Cardinals first of 3 in Chicago, Wrigley Field tomorrow, and then 4 in Cincinnati. All those games will be on Fox Sports Midwest with the exception of one. That'll be Sunday night. Pitch count at 62 for McCarthy as we move to the bottom of the fourth. It's Diaz, Wainwright, and Fowler.
How about the play Diaz made in the top of the fourth inning? Saved a run.
And he did it going to his left. Very good coming in. Deep in holes, good arm, shows it off, but to his left is where he has struggled at times.
That's where he's gotten his criticism for sure.
Here's the 0-1.
And you know, it's the age-old story. The number of times the guy makes a great play in the field and then comes to the plate the next inning. It's a little-known fact, but that happens 11% of the time.
11%. You broke that down sabermetrically. Popped up and behind home plate. One and two the count. Puig is very shallow in right field. Left fielder deep. That's Bellinger. And a fly ball into shallow left center. Bellinger, a sliding catch and a terrific play. Robs Aledmys Diaz.
So Diaz robs Barnes, and Bellinger returns the favor. Nice play. He's had a couple of errors in left field. We've seen his arm. It's certainly a strong arm. And mentioned that the Dodgers personnel believe he's going to be a Gold Glove first baseman. They also think it's possible he could be a Gold Glove outfielder if he stays there.
Chopped to third. Handled by Hernandez to get Wainwright. MLB.com at bat, your #1 mobile app for live Cardinals baseball. Stay connected, a fully customizable experience. Home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. With that, there's 2 outs. Top of the lineup, Dexter Fowler, 1 for 2. A season ago, the Dodgers led the league in payroll, 3rd consecutive year, $253 million in salaries. It cost them additional $32 million as they surpassed the luxury tax. And it looks like they'll do that again this season. Re-signing Justin Turner, big deal for him. Kenley Jansen as well. And paying him an awful lot. That's Clayton Kershaw. Here's a 2-1. Fowler rips it foul.
Oh, much better play by the
way better
ball boy down the right field line. That was outstanding. Good form, had good balance.
I think it was more out of self-protection.
All in a day's work.
The 2-2. Fouled back. Spoil that pitch. Really started on the road trip for Dexter Fowler in Colorado. Taking better at bats, stinging the ball, more authority to it.
I think the next level is to increase his effectiveness from the right side, hitting just 192 right-handed. I think he's locked in left-handed. That's where all his home runs have come, as you've mentioned. I'll tell you one thing, he's got some seriously red shoes, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
There's no question what team he's playing for. They are bright, bright red.
3-2. Pulled foul. Ricky again just breaking it down.
There it is. Look at that.
Well as he can and pointing out the shoes.
I think that's pretty stylish, don't you? He's got the STL on the sock, which is a new look for the players this year. 3-2, and he draws a walk.
So McCarthy is issued just one walk moments ago there to Dexter Fowler. Brings it Carpenter, who is 1 for 2. There it is, the STL on the outside of the leg. New addition to the Cardinal uniform.
Shoes and gloves are still the 2 articles of clothing where players can express their personality a little bit. Everything else is mandated.
You walk into a clubhouse, it's got a picture of a player and what you're supposed to wear and how to wear it.
Can't wear this, can't wear that. Oh yeah, there's a lot of rules and there's a uniformity to that. But as far as the shoes and gloves, players will sign contracts with different manufacturers, and why not? Capitalism at its finest.
Here's an 0-1. Well, Jim Hayes for years has had a tremendous suit deal, and that's where we can capitalize maybe on Jimmy.
Just on his coattails, so to speak.
Fowler diving back in safely. I'm sure it's got to be in the back of his mind, the excitement of going to Wrigley and getting that World Series ring. Cubs are planning a nice tribute to Dexter Fowler. The Cubs have dropped 6 straight. For the West Coast swing through LA and San Diego. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's a 1-2. Fouled back, and a good rip by Carpenter. Now, if you're in the field, you're an umpire. You got the dark shoes, but the home plate umpire, the metal around the toe to protect the feet.
That was a lot of protection as we looked at that, wasn't it?
Pretty big.
Needs to be.
Here's a 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Cardinals head to Chicago tomorrow. That's the Bat Boys there.
And that's where it's helpful to know a player who wears your size.
Get the right ones. The 2-2. Runner goes. That's Fowler to second. Puts himself in scoring position.
Just the 2nd stolen base for Fowler, and kind of a late read by the catcher. Throw was on the base, even though it was a 1-hopper, but the late read and maybe the late cover too.
So 3-2 the count. Carpenter is sitting on 9 home runs. He is driven in 27. And the next 2. Curveball and froze him. 6 strikeouts through 4 for Brandon McCarthy. In this series, couple of important home runs. Last night, Dexter Fowler gave the Cardinals a 2-1 win. And earlier today, Adam Wainwright with a 2-run shot. right, that guy's sleeping. We got to hold the popcorn for the little guy and herself. Dad's kind of like, you know, I just want to take in the game.
She's paying the bills online. She's got a load of laundry going.
Keeping everything in order. Dad just sitting back saying, looks like you got everything under control. I'm good. Here's the 0-1 to Puig.
I'm thinking of their friends that are watching right now thinking, do you realize that Dan McLaughlin was analyzing your family life on?
I wasn't analyzing. I was just taking in what we all go through, Rick.
Okay. You were generalizing.
That's a better way to put it.
Okay.
The 2-1 pitch. Puig, a big swing and a miss.
Cardinals have 7 hits through 4 innings, but they've stranded 6 runners. Wainwright, the 2-run home run, that's the scoring, but it seems like it should be more.
Missed opportunity a couple of innings ago. Curveball past the diving Jerko. Cardinals had runners at second and third and nobody out. The Dodgers, maybe one of the reasons why they go with the rotation with their DL, their starters are giving them, outside of Kershaw, about 5-6 innings, and that's it. And they have a very good bullpen. And it looks like that may be the case here.
Another curveball that sat up a little bit from Wainwright, giving up a couple of hits on that pitch now. But he's been sharp. 4 strikeouts. Pretty good Dodger lineup.
So this would be Brett Eibner, used as a pinch runner late last night in the 9th after Gonzalez had reached against O, and coming off the bench to pinch hit. Puig is your runner at first base. Fastball taken low.
And another instant of what we talked about, and you were going in that direction of Dave Roberts managing a game in June now as if it was an October game.
Yeah.
Certainly his prerogative, but when you've got this revolving door of 17 or 18 pitchers, I guess you can do it.
Guys stay fresh. Our buddy in the truck, Keith O'Brien, wants to wish a happy 6th birthday to Brooks Duckworth, who's at the ballpark today. It was passed along by Keith Olbermann, Keith O'Brien's top assistant.
They're inseparable.
Keith can get a little chatty on the charter flights. And so can the guy to my right, as they sit together right behind me. I haven't slept on a charter in 15 years.
We wouldn't be annoying you on purpose, would we?
Three and 1 to count on Eibner. Wainwright would love the double play.
Bob McCarthy, I'm not happy about being out of this game.
Ryu last night. And that's hit out of play.
The only other factor that could be involved here is McCarthy was lifted in his last start after 6 innings with a knee issue. He had tendonitis in a knee, and he'd gone 6 scoreless innings against the Cubs and giving up just 2 hits. And maybe that's a factor in this. But, you know, 85 pitches, you'd think he has an inning or 2 left.
And a high fly ball lifted out to center. Fowler is back near the wall, and just enough room. Puig not tagging up. Ritz kickoff to summer weekend starts June 9th. 30,000 fans 16 and older take home a bobblehead of the 1967 National League MVP Orlando Cepeda. It's courtesy of AAA. And get your Cards Phillies tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
With Dexter Fowler still dealing with shoulder issues, in the rearview mirror certainly would have been a better idea for Puig to tag up. He would have got to second base easily.
No question.
But the reason a lot of players will do what he did, go halfway or get close to the second base bag, if it hits off the wall, you want to be able to score. Or if it gets over his head, you want to be able to score. But that ball was in the air so long, I think it would have made more sense for him to come back and tag up.
The top of the lineup. Chris Taylor at the plate. One out, runner at first. Tied him up. Now Taylor has struck out and also grounded out to second.
So the play's right in front of you if you're Yasiel Puig. Is he going to get back and get under it? By that time he knows he is, and he should have quickly gotten back to the bag. I think maybe he wasn't fully up to speed on just how difficult it is for Fowler to throw at the moment.
Into center, Fowler can't come up with it. It'll be a base hit for Taylor. Isn't that though part of the first base coach's job on that particular play, as high as it was hit, for him to go back and say, hey, tag up, tag up.
There's the trap. Puig's got another decision to make. Do I go? Is he going to catch it or not? And so he's kind of in between on both of them. I actually think it's the player's responsibility. I don't think the coach can help you as real time as you need to react first. And it's a player's responsibility. I would say 98% of it's the player's responsibility. If it's something crazy that you're doing on the base pass, the coach can correct it. But I think they're mostly just encouraging guys, making sure you know the situations. The reads are up to you. And you got to have somebody there to take their equipment after they're at bat. Their extra batting gloves and their
very important,
and their shin guard.
Right.
I don't know when coaches became valets, but it's where we are.
Here's a 1-0 pitch with runners at first and second. Slowly hit to the right side. Carpenter to Wainwright. Two runners now in scoring position. Wainwright is at 87 pitches on the afternoon. You see the stopwatches there to get the times of the pitcher to the plate. Everybody has a job, a responsibility on the field.
You have a pen in your, I think the pen is key too. You got the pen right there in your jersey. You never know when you might want to write something down or sign an autograph. Coach thing to do, have a pen.
Here's Bellinger. Fouled back in strike one. Runners at second and third, and the 0-1 pitch. Taken high. Bellinger is grounded out to first, and also a double into the gap in right center. Will this be it? The final inning for Adam Wainwright, approaching 100 pitches. The 1-1. It is popped up. Going out, Aledmys Diaz, and the Dodgers strand two. They've left 6 on through 5. Coming up, Stephen Piscotty, Jed Jerko, and Yadier Molina. The Cardinals, thanks to a 2-run homer by Wainwright. The T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. The Cubs will see them tomorrow. Swept in a 3-game series. They've dropped 6 straight. Houston has won 7 in a row. And Albert Pujols sitting on $5.99. It'll be Piscotty to lead it off. He's 1 for 2. Josh Fields is our Chevy call to the pen. So McCarthy 5 innings, strikes out 6.
Very good numbers for Fields. ERA under 1, and what we have in this game today, and this is just where we are on the 1st of June, but we've got a manager in blue, Dave Roberts, who can't wait to use his bullpen. And you've got a Cardinal manager that's going to try to push his starter as long as he can.
One ball and 1 strike. Fields also serves as a local hunting guide in the offseason.
What's wrong with that?
Actually, I'm not sure if he does that, but he's got the look. I don't think I could do that even if I wanted to. That is quite the beard. Justin Turner, same thing. The heat of the summer, it can't be comfortable.
Didn't the Dodgers have the no beard look with Don Mattingly?
Yep. The Chevy Fox Tracks.
Started growing it the day Mattingly took off.
You would look really menacing, I think, with one of those.
I'll start working on it.
The 2-2. Oh yeah. Very comfortable look. Doesn't seem to be hot at all.
Kind of the Jerry Garcia look there, isn't it?
That, or you could be an extra in the acclaimed film Teen Wolf 16. The Hyundai pitch arsenal on Josh Fields.
High percentage of fastballs.
Here's a 3-2 pitch, and it's taken high. Beginning June 15th, the greatest players in the world will head to Erin Hills. Dustin Johnson, Jason Day, Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy. The U.S. Open. And it's on Fox FS1 and Fox Sports Go.
Well, I'm a little bummed I didn't qualify for that again.
You played Erin Hills.
Played there a couple of times. It is a beautiful golf course.
How many minutes outside Milwaukee is that?
It's a drive. I want to say it was about 40-minute drive, but beautiful countryside, and you have to walk it, and the tee to green is a long way away. It's about a 6-mile walk. Get a lot of exercise. Just beautiful.
1 pitch is up and in to Jed Jerko. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yadier Molina is at the on deck circle.
An interesting,
fouled back.
Interesting conversation with Oral Hershiser before the game about the Dodgers bullpen pitching up in the zone, and he had some thoughts about that after watching them, and they've been successful, and he's not criticizing him, but one of the things he was saying is there are times where they go to it too much. You don't have to do it first pitch. You don't have to do it 1-0. You don't have to do it 2-0, 3. I mean, they're so bent on throwing the fastball up in the zone. He thinks they'd be better off not having that high target as much as they have it. So it's just really a matter of degree. But you can't argue with the success. Dodgers bullpen collectively 2.6 ERA, the best in baseball.
1-2 the count on Jerko. Runner at first is Piscotty. And Jed fouls it back into the upper deck. Not quite Mike Alaga out of Busch Stadium 2, but that was way back there. Come to the ballpark, you're not expecting a souvenir up there.
No.
Here's a 1-2. And Jerko hits a fly ball into right center. Catch is made. Piscotty back to the bag at first, and there's one away here in the bottom of the 5th. Matter of fact, it's the first time a foul ball has ever landed above the press box here at Busch Stadium 3.
Ever.
Press box right below that Budweiser sign there.
We're in there somewhere.
Yadier Molina at the plate. And the check on Piscotty.
So are we saying that there's a place in a record book somewhere that says how many times has a foul ball gone above the press box? 0. And now they're going to have to change that to 1. I mean, is that really in a record book somewhere?
That's correct.
We track everything, don't we?
We do. I think Pujols back in '06 when the stadium opened up actually put one on Clark Avenue over the seats. I've seen that in batting practice. Have not seen one go above the press box. We've seen it in Big Mac land, never to the deck above that. We saw Brandon Moss down the right field line hit one off the Mercy sign. One of the longest home runs ever by a left-handed batter. That's fouled back. We've never had a foul ball in our booth. Close, but never in the booth.
Every foul ball becomes a story. Ice cream intact.
One ball and one strike. Freddie Freeman to dead center field. Hit one over the grassy knoll, if you will. The Freeze Hill is what I like to call it, the David Freeze Hill. And that landed on the concrete up there just below the black backdrop. One and two the count on Yadier Molina. Now that is a poke there.
And for Cardinal fans who may have missed, the longest home run of the season for the current Cardinals, and you could guess all day if you didn't know, and probably not come up with
Do
the
I
guy.
have a guess?
Oh well, some could guess all day, but you know who was it? Who
Ray
was it?
Garcia.
That's correct.
462 feet in Colorado.
13th longest home run hit in Major League Baseball this season. He's tied with Giancarlo Stanton.
Here's a 1-2. Out of play again. through the ups and downs of a major league season, and it's been that way through the first 50 games for the Cardinals. 25-25, and yet a game and a half out in the Central Division. The pitching last year, the Cubs, was magnificent. You can't say that this season. Milwaukee is maybe ahead of schedule. There's a strikeout, and now Piscotty in a rundown. And a double play. We played 5 here at Busch Stadium. A Wainwright 2-run home run. The difference thus far. .37 in Miami. With 5 scoreless innings here this afternoon, it's dropped to 3.86. Said he needed to change up some things. He certainly has done that. And this will be his final inning of work. The Dippin' Dots are out. And the batter will be Adrian Gonzalez. Tough day for the Dodger first baseman. Lined out to center and lined out to second. Utley at the on deck circle, has walked a couple of times, and then Kike Hernandez. Pitch number 91. And strike one. If you just joined us, the Cardinals with a 2-out 2-run homer by Wainwright back in the second inning. His 10th career homer. To the count. Milwaukee there in the top of the 8th at Citi Field in New York, and the score is 2-0. Brewers on top in that game. 0-2 pitch is taken low and outside. Indians have posted a victory, first of the afternoon around Major League Baseball. 8-0 the final over the A's. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gonzalez is swing and a miss. And that strikeout number 5 for Adam Wainwright. June 11th, kids 15 and under entering with a ticket will be able to feel like the pros with their new Rawlings Kids Baseball Glove, featuring 2 Cardinal logos. And you can join us at Busch Stadium for the final day of the Ritz kickoff to summer weekend. June 11th, the Cards and Fills at cardinals.com/promotions. Get the glove, you can put it on a hand, which is what it's meant for, or on top of your head, whatever suits you. Not sure the Cardinals need a rally cap just yet, but it's out. And there's a strike to Utley. Back-to-back walks. Five hits in the series for Chase Utley, the native of Pasadena.
See Adam Wainwright finish strong here this inning.
0-2.
We noticed Carlos Martinez took it into an extra gear in his last inning when he knew it was his last. I would guess this is Wainwright's last at 96 pitches.
The spot is due up fourth for the Cardinals. And it's fouled back. Rosendahl was getting loose in the Cardinals' pen last night, but once St. Louis took the lead, it was 0. So you'd figure Trevor is available today. O is never afraid to go back-to-back or even 3 days in a row. So the question for Mike Matheny, seventh inning.
And that's a question that's been asked about 50 different times this year with a lot of different answers and frankly not a lot of good results.
A ball and 2 strikes. The shift is on here for Utley. 3 on the right side of the infield. It's kind of a lazy afternoon here at the ballpark. And the 1-2. Missed in. Been mentioning this throughout our telecast, but that's where the Cardinals have gone with Utley. Pitch him in.
He's had such a good last month at 314 in May. Short stroke.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 6th. 75 miles per hour on that pitch. McDonald's has your favorite drinks to keep you cool this season. New frozen Coke, frozen wild cherry, and the frozen blue raspberry. Try one today.
Last 26 innings of work for Wainwright. 1 run allowed.
Kike Hernandez 0 for 2. And a ground ball to Paul DeJong. Wainwright is through 6 scoreless innings. 6 strikeouts, including Chase Utley with the big bender. Oh, Uncle Charlie. to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Ford, the official cars and trucks of the Cardinals. And by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 our score. Sergio Romo, the new pitcher for the Dodgers, in the Chevy called to the pen.
Seen him a lot in the last week, haven't we?
Yep.
Mr. Slider.
And there it is for ball 1. Pham, DeYoung, Diaz, and then Wainwright spot. Matt Bowman starting to throw in the Cardinals pen. Popped up on the infield. Seager, and there's one away.
I don't think it's out of the question if the Cardinals go 1-2-3 in this inning that Wainwright would go back out. I don't think it's a done deal. I mean, it may be in Mike Matheny's mind, but I think with Bowman as your 7th and Rosenthal 8, 9th, I think you just go with that. I mean, Adams right around 100 pitches. It is the bottom part of the order for the Dodgers coming up.
Here's DeYoung.
The dilemma, Dan, is if you're going to win, you're going to have to trust your bullpen. You can't say every day, well, I don't want to use them, and think that that's going to work. It just can't.
The 0-1. So what's been the biggest difference that you've seen in talking with Paul DeYoung about the major leagues and now? And he said the game is the game between the white lines, but he said, man, these amenities are nice. He said, I could get used to this.
He's only been on one short charter, right?
That's right.
Hotels are better. Flights are better.
Clubhouse
is better.
The video, what's at the disposal of a major league player to prepare.
Equipment. Access to trainers.
DeYoung yanks it down the left field line and foul.
They do a great job. Minor league trainers do, but they only got so many hours in the day. The big leagues, there are a lot of personnel. Strength trainers, all kinds of people helping you out.
The trainer sometimes is the traveling secretary. He's helping with bags. He's doing a little bit of everything. DeYoung hits it off the end of the bat. This is going to drop, but foul. One and 2 the count. He's filling in for the injured Colton Wong. He can play second. He can play third. He can play short. So he gives this club some versatility and potentially a little power off the bench. And the 1-2. Slider goes down to get it, and a base hit out to left.
Nice at bat.
Second hit of the day.
Mom approves.
Well, how about these guys that they're calling up? I mean, DeYoung, Sierra, Martinez did make the club out of spring. They're all contributing in one way or another. There's Michael Gersh, the assistant GM, on the left. John Mozeliak on the right. Here's Aledmys Diaz. He's about due.
You know, those two have to have an awful lot of what if conversations, you know, not just about injured players, but as the development system goes, and when should we go to Sierra, and what do you think about Sierra? Can he play at this level? What does Gary LaRocque say about him? What does his manager say about him? What do we need the most? And they're constantly tinkering. Now, they don't make moves every day, but they're thinking about it all the time. I mean, all the time. How to make this team better. And you can't say everything you think, because if you say, hey, you know, we're thinking about bringing up Sierra and sitting this player, well, you're not going to say that publicly, but that doesn't mean they're not thinking about it.
Here's a 1-1. Swing and a miss by Diaz. As a manager thinks about an inning or two ahead, or maybe a weekend series ahead, if not further, same is happening with the front office. Draft is right around the corner.
Right.
Here's a 1-2 instead of check on the runner. Cardinals do not have a first-round pick, and I think it's going to be interesting, their thought process and what they want to do with this particular draft. Not having a first-rounder, what's the philosophy in 2017? Got him to chase, and a strikeout of Diaz. Metallica will be here over the weekend at Busch Stadium. And you can still get your tickets at cardinals.com/Metallica, produced by Live Nation. That'll be it for Adam Wainwright. And the batter will be Greg Garcia.
As you approach the draft, Dan, to follow up on your thought, you know, where there's really 40 or 50 players who are difference makers in the draft, and you're just going to have to look for some diamonds in the rough past that. That'll be Randy Flores' job coming up soon.
It'll be a double switch here for Dave Roberts. He'll go to his lone lefty in the pen. That's Grant Dayton. Garcia pinch hitting for Wainwright. He's been introduced. He'll hit when we come back. It's our Chevy called to the pen. To Wrigley will be tomorrow afternoon. We'll come your way at 12:30. Lance Lynn, John Lackey, both are very close. Talking with Lance before the game today, he said, I'm really looking forward to going against Lackey. Should be fun to watch too.
Very similar pitchers in terms of their mentality, their attack mode. They're both pretty demonstrative on the mound, and it'll be an entertaining game, no question.
So Garcia will pinch hit. And now they're going to pull back Garcia and go with Johnny Peralta. So 2 outs, runner at first. And it's fouled back. Left on the bench for the Cardinals, Fryer, Jose Martinez. Forsythe is into the game. He'll bat in the 9 spot, due up third for the Dodgers, and Dayton in the Hernandez spot. So Garcia was announced, then pulled back. Fowler on deck, and here's the 0-1. Just like a season ago, the Cardinals pinch hitting wise very good this year.
couple of home runs last year. That was really what they featured, a lot of home runs and RBIs, but still the .353 average. The Dodgers also have hit well in the pinch.
Here's a 1-1. Check on the runner at first.
I believe I would not have pinch hit. The manager's the manager, and I trust Mike, and everybody's got their own way of attacking things. I'm not sure I would waste another player here unless there was a runner in scoring position. Then I would, but I know Mike has his reasons. He's been dealing with such a short bench for so long. He's still a little short because the Cardinals are carrying that extra reliever. But as you mentioned, just with one little turn of the game, you've lost 2 of your players off the bench, and now just have Jose Martinez left. You have Fryer, but you won't use him.
And the Dodgers have their backup today, Grandal behind the plate, and Gutierrez left on their bench. That's it. The 2-1 pitch. Breaks his bat, and the catch will be made by Chase Utley. We head to the 7th. Matt Bowman coming on when we come back. From Cardinal games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub connects you with the world of live. StubHub, your ticket out. The official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals. Great start for Bowman. Used a lot, maybe wore down a bit. Comes in with a few days rest into this appearance. And it's our Chevy called to the pen.
25 games. He's up among the league leaders in games, but the innings especially for Matt Bowman, because he's a guy that normally just doesn't come in and pitch to a couple of batters. He can go more than an inning. An up and down season for him. What a find he was a year ago, though.
Here's Austin Barnes to start it in the 7th. And ball 1. Barnes is 1 for 2. Dodgers have stranded 6 in this game. The Cardinals 7. St. Louis is out hit LA 8-4, and they lead 2-0. Wainwright very effective again here today. If you get Adam Wainwright pitching like this, the Cardinals in what has been a mediocre division right now, at least for the time being, if they get him as he's been going his last 4 or 5 starts, and the rest of the rotation the way they pitched, there's no reason to think the Cardinals cannot be in this. Bowman spinning there towards the mound, or towards the plate off the mound, and it's 3-0.
Caught a cleat, I think, on the rubber and almost tumbled. There's the delivery, the back foot drags, and certainly didn't have his balance. Hasn't looked really comfortable from pitch one. Pitch one missed way high. You just don't think of Bowman as a guy that's outside the strike zone very often. But your point is well taken. I think the starter that I'm most worried about at the moment is Michael Wacha. Last couple of times we've seen him, he's been off what he was doing early in the season.
Three and two. Three-two pitch. Missed in. Leadoff walk. How much did he miss by on that pitch? Plaza Tire Service replay.
You see the dots all over the place in that at bat for Bowman, so his command is off here. And one of the problems with being off in your command is you end up throwing a fat one. Just trying to lay it in there. You better not do that with this guy at the plate.
So it's Puig here, who is 1 for 2. Grounded out to short. Base hit to left. Forsythe is on deck. He is grounded into 11 double plays. Guy like Puig, his kind of power, 9 home runs. I'm not so sure that's what you want to see late in this game.
I think it's what the Cardinals want to see.
Oh yeah.
Trevor Rosenthal getting loose. May have to bridge a little bit more than just 2 innings here. But Bowman falters.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. When you see Rosenthal get up this quickly, 8th inning, you mentioned the dots on that graphic all over the place. They're seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
Command is an issue.
Yeah.
It's a ball and a strike on Puig, representing the tying run. Ground ball that is foul.
So there's a delicate decision-making process that goes on if you're Mike Matheny, Derek Lilliquist, trying to figure out how to use your bullpen. We hit on it early just a bit. The Cardinals, if they don't get good work out of their bullpen, you're not going to win. I mean, you have to get that. And you may get to a point where you say, boy, the bullpen's not very good. Let's not use them. Well, guess what? You're not going to win then either. I mean, you have to use it. You have to use your best guys. If you want to win, Matt Bowman, Kevin Segrist, and Brett Cecil have to be good in 2017 by the time it's over.
On the outside corner and a strikeout of Puig. Big strikeout there for Matt Bowman.
Started outside, cut back over that outside corner, perfectly placed.
That's the kind of pitch, if he swings at, may roll over and you get your double play.
There are going to be times where Brett Cecil is used and fans may say, boy, I'm not sure I'd use him in that situation. And I think the answer is, if you don't use him in this situation, it's going to be a very long year.
Here's Logan Forsythe. First plate appearance, takes strike one. Bowman would love the double play here. The 0-1 pitch. Floats in there for strike two. Forsythe, a 30-year-old from Franklin, Tennessee. 46th overall pick in 2008. Originally came up with San Diego. Last 3 years with Tampa Bay. Here's the 0-2 pitch. the front office of the Dodgers, formerly of Tampa Bay, so they know this player quite well. Chris Taylor at the on-deck circle. A little bit low, and it's 2-2.
Remember the first time we saw Logan Forsythe, you and I were in San Diego doing a game together, and he was just starting his career with the Padres, so it's been a number of years now, probably 4 or 5 years, and Mark Grant called us over and said, wait till you see this guy play. You guys will love him. He is a professional player. He does everything right on the field, and I mean everything right on the field, and he didn't disappoint.
Here's a 2-2, and it's pulled foul.
So how do you get ground balls if you're a sinker ball pitcher? You try to get in on the hands. Right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter, you just get that sinker down and in if you can. And that will jam the hitter and hopefully get him to hit a weak ground ball somewhere. That's why Bowman's effective.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Short lead at first by Barnes. There's your double play ball. Out at second. On to first. It's a double play. Bowman a scoreless. Top of the 7th. 4-6-3. The first double play turned this afternoon by the Cardinals. And it's time to stretch. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. The Cardinals have the top of the lineup here in the home half of the 7th. Dexter Fowler, Matt Carpenter, and Steven Piscotty. Adam Wainwright now with 6 more scoreless innings today. That's 16 1/3 consecutive. His last 4 starts, he's given up 1 earned run in 26 1/3. That's a .34 ERA. Last night, the home run by Fowler late. Kubota power stats with Fowler digging in. Inning 7 and beyond, 23 home runs. And a strike to Fowler, who's hitting from the right side of the plate. This is his natural side. He's got 7 from the other side of the plate. All 7 that he's hit this year. Hit out of play, right-hander throwing in the bullpen. for the Dodgers.
Not the first time where a guy who is hitting a switch hitter is hitting better from the side that we called not his natural side. So it begs the question to me, are we sure it's not his natural side?
Yeah.
Did he just not know it? I mean, that's not the first time we've heard that. We've encountered it.
The farm director of the Rockies, the team that drafted him 2004, that said you're going to become a switch hitter after watching batting practice. And within 2 years, he's in the big leagues as a switch hitter.
Did you ever try doing it?
I did, and it was as bad as my natural side.
I made a concerted effort, worked very hard to be a switch hitter. I was 15, and I thought I could be better if I was a switcher. I had a concerted effort, and about 30 minutes later, I quit.
Yeah. Yep, that's about how my...
But I really was a good effort.
My experience is about the same. I don't think you can be a guy like me that couldn't run and try to develop being a switch hitter by slapping the ball, because it wouldn't have mattered. I'd have been out by 8 feet anyway. Jammed him. Hit to short. So Rick Horton, that's not a good combination. Crowd today 40,477. 40477.
Like Dexter hustling. Gets jammed badly, the ball running in on him. You know, people ask about, well, how do you get the ball to do that? And there's a complex way to answer it, but the simple way to answer it is you can do it with finger pressure or how you hold the baseball, or both. You can hold the ball off center to get the ball to run in, lefty on righty. That's really what a cutter is. Or you can do it with finger pressure. More pressure on one side of the ball creates just a little bit of a run action.
A breakdown of Fowler, by the way. 67 home runs hit from the left side. A total of 18 from the right side. Carpenter at the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Base hit to right field. I don't know if I ever told you, though, about my walk-off at fantasy camp. It's really a great story if you want to hear it.
No, you don't have to tell me about it. I witnessed it. And I would write the story slightly different than you would.
Absolute bullet to right field.
Broken
Dramatic
bat
win.
Broken bat flare.
No, sir. No, sir.
Who was pitching? Was it like one of the campers? One of the doctors or lawyers that was down there? And
that would be Mark Taylor.
Oh, Mark Taylor did.
Yeah. And Ryan Franklin was very pleased. Line to the shift as Carpenter slams down his bat, and there's 2 away. I believe Mark had pitched in college, and he helps out with Cardinals care. He had some choice words for Ryan Franklin in that camp, and you know me, I'm not one to be boisterous at all or talk about myself. I just let my play do all the talking. Then in game 2, yep, remember it like it was yesterday.
You know, if you made it to the finals, you know what we do in the finals. The winning team gets a ring.
I did make it to the finals.
A replica ring. Oh, did you get one?
We lost.
Oh, okay. But if you actually are the best player on that team, you get interviewed on the field at Roger Dean Stadium with champagne. You get a ring, and you guys came in second. Is that what you're telling me?
How many times I have to repeat myself on that one? Anyway, in game 1, the walk-off.
Does it hurt still?
It does. It's tough to get sleep at night. Piscotty hits it sharply to Seager. Nice play. Spins and throws on a hard hit ball, and the Cardinals go in order. So anyway, it was a pitch that I was able to take to right. It was a line drive, and we walked it off. No big deal. Rosenthal. And Rosenthal, since the San Francisco series, has pitched a total of 2 innings, so plenty of rest. Terchevy called to the pen. Last pitched on May 27th, an inning. And you could tell in that game, hadn't been used all that much. Control was, you know, it wasn't as good as we've seen, but yet pitched out of trouble and put up a scoreless inning against the Rockies.
Walked 2, struck out 2 in that game, and he was a bit all over the place at the beginning. And we've seen him like that in his career, but hardly ever this year. He has not had any of that wildness issues, and so it was a bit surprising that we saw that in the road.
Here's Chris Taylor. A base hit to center. That was in inning number 5. Grounded out to second. Also struck out. And the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. First pitch at 97. That one at 99. He was hitting 100 on the gun in that appearance in Colorado.
But his best pitch that day was his changeup.
Yep. Different ways to get batters out. Wainwright mixing up his speeds. The power now of Trevor Rosenthal. 0-2 pitch hit out of play. So you gear up for 100 and then you get 85.
0-2
with the changeup.
There was a time in baseball you'd say that is one time you never throw a changeup 0-2 because the guy's going to have his hands back. He's going to be defensive anyway, and you're throwing the ball slower. You're feeding right into what he's doing. However, for Rosenthal, it's a strikeout pitch, so I understand why he does it. High breaker. What does that high breaker look like? Still looks pretty fast. Behind home plate.
Change up in the dirt. 2-2.
And we from time to time will show you the difference between the center field camera and behind home plate, because the center field camera, it's a lot easier to see what's happening at the plate, but you do not get the reality of the speed, just how fast 100 miles an hour really is. Now we don't stay on this, but boom.
You could hear it sizzle. They used to say when Ankiel would throw a breaking ball, you could hear the spin.
Yep.
3-2 the count. Couldn't catch up. It's out of play. Seager on deck and then Bellinger. So 1, 2, 3 in the lineup for the Dodgers here in the top of the 8th.
Some guys you really like. I like Trevor Rosenthal. In some ways I wish I would have had a chance to play with him, but I would never have wanted to warm up next to him. That'd just be embarrassing.
Flat out bring it. Hardest thrower you played with?
Probably Todd Worrell. It was hard enough warming up next to him. He could throw 2 pitches. By the time they got the ball back to me, he was already throwing the next pitch.
Yeah, he did warm up quickly.
And he got it there quickly. He threw high 90s.
3-2 pitch. Out of play again.
Actually played with a pitcher in the minor leagues on the way down, Rudy Cianez, who also played with the Dodgers some. He threw 100 regularly in the minor leagues.
(3-2) again, and he walked him. So leadoff walk and a very good at bat by Taylor. 11 pitches.
Well, that's a good at bat. Taylor just protecting, and that's how quick the bat speed is too from the side. When you're throwing 100, you got to get that bat going. You don't have a lot of time. Taylor has a bit of a big swing, but he gets it going and lets it fly, and he had a nice at bat, earning a walk. Do not like walks late in games. They normally bite you.
There's ball one. Now Yachty wants to talk it over.
Bowman worked around his walk in the 7th inning by getting a double play.
Two day games in a row after this contest is through for the Cardinals in Chicago. Then Sunday Night Baseball at Wrigley. First two on Fox Sports Midwest. And a ground ball, could be two. 6, 4, 3 on the double play. The Cardinals a double play back in the 7th, and this one here in the 8th. The Biz Dash is coming up Thursday, August 31st at Ballpark Village. Live music, company tailgates, food and drinks, and a 5K. Create your company team by visiting stlbizdash.com. It's brought to you by Fox Sports Midwest.
Thing I noticed on that double play was just the good footwork of Diaz, moving his feet towards the second base bag. He knew he was going to have time. I know he's really been working on his footwork, and only has 4 errors this year. A lot of those came early. He's settled down, and again, he may not have Echeverria type range or Andrelton Simmons, but I think he's getting better. He did that last year. He got better as the season went on.
There's Cody Bellinger. Nobody on, 2 outs. 2-1 the count. Bellinger is grounded out to first. Double in the gap in right center and popped out with 2 runners on to short to end a threat in the 5th. And the 2-1 pitch. Three and 2. Now time is called. Adrian Gonzalez at the on deck circle. In the air left side. Diaz doesn't know where it is. Does anybody? Jerko does and makes the catch. Leadoff walk erased on this double play. The second turn by the Cardinals this afternoon. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 2-0 St. Louis. The Cardinals, home half of the 8th. A 2-hit day for Jed, followed by Molina and then Pham. Brandon Morrow is the new pitcher. Chevy called to the pen for the Dodgers.
Just recalled a couple of days ago, and again the Dodgers have been doing a lot of movement with their pitchers, especially their bullpen. Morrow had good numbers in AAA, and he's been in just a couple of games since his recall. And he'll try to keep it close for the Dodgers. Boy, it'd be nice if the Cardinals could. Just one more, I'd be a lot better. I don't want to be greedy, Dan, but I'd like one more. Is that too much to ask?
It's not. That's just fine.
All right. Jerko can do it with one swing of the bat.
So 2-hit day. A base hit to right center. A single to center, and he flied out to center. Up and in. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Milwaukee has posted a victory 2-1 over the Mets. Brewers are now 29-25. Cardinals win this game. They stay within a game and a half of the Brewers. That's hit out to left. You may get your wish. This ball is off the base of the wall. Close. Close. It's a double for Jed Jerko. And a 3-hit day.
Not all I wished for, but I'm still happy with it. And so is Jerko, so's the Cardinal bench. The new dad got a curveball he can handle. Just how far up that wall? Not enough. Off of Rogers Hornsby.
So runner at second base. Yadier Molina. He has come up each plate appearance with runners on. It's the 6th time that Jerko has had a 3-hit game this season. He had a total of 4 all last year. Yadi trying to hit it to the right side or drive him in. The Dodgers will have Gonzalez, Utley, and the pitcher spot coming up. Let's see just Molina trying to shoot it to that right side. 0-2 the count.
One of the jobs of Jerko, the runner, is to check where the infielders are positioned on the right side of the infield. Sometimes the first baseman will be in, and they'll try to. Albert Pujols was great at this. You play in, and you cut that run at third, even if it is hit on the right side. Yadi again trying to hit it over there, but with Gonzalez back, Jerko knows anything to the first base side of the pitcher, he's taken off. Anything in front of him, he's not. Make sure it's through on the left side of the infield. You go on the right side.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Yadier Molina. Off the plate into Chris Maloney. And a souvenir. Big gap in left center field for Molina. Puts it in play off the glove of Morrow. Jerko is off with the pitch. And he advances to third after his 10th double of the year. And he had a total of 9 a season ago.
Yadi trying so hard to hit the ball the other way. And I was about to say, what do you do if the ball's hit back to the pitcher? And normally you don't go, but I think he felt that the pitcher wasn't going to be able to get it. He was falling off to the first base side behind him, so Jerko read that very well. If he catches that ball, Jerko's out. But he took the chance, and he was successful.
Infield drawn in. Pham, a pitch taken high at 97. Cardinals, when you look back in the 3rd inning, they had runners at second and third. Nobody out, did not score. Molina and Pham both grounded out to third, and then a strikeout. He'd love to atone for that. Hard breaking pitch drops in, 1-1 strike. Another breaking pitch, and it's 1-2. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Tommy Pham. Two and two the count.
Still haven't gotten that extra run I asked for.
Is it coming here or with DeYoung? Or at all? Strikeout of Pham. And the Cardinals need a 2-out hit from DeYoung. He's had a 2-hit day and a run scored.
Boy, the bottom just dropped out of that slider. It almost looked like it had slider spin. Sideways spin down and away from a right-hander, and it just dropped straight down.
And that's a strike. Fouled away by DeYoung. Checks his bat. He had a base hit to center. Scored on the 2-run homer by Adam Wainwright back in the second inning. The difference in this game. He struck out in the third. And a single to left. And the 0-1. Now 0-2. I agree with you. I mean, you watch Morrow, he's got pretty nasty stuff.
Hit 98 on the fastball. Yeah, bat to Tommy Pham. Mike Matheny talking about the pitcher being brought up. He goes, yeah, he throws in high 90s. He's talking about Brevy. He can get 95, 96. And then he said, but who can't?
In the dirt, gets away. Jerko back to the bag at third.
Well
Very
read.
fine play there by Barnes, and you're
Yes.
right, well read by Jerko.
Both of them. Right on it, doing everything right. Pitches in the dirt, sacrifices his body, keeps it in front of him, hustles to get it. Jerko saw it was in the dirt, so he took a couple of steps. If it got away more than that, he would have taken off. And he pulled the brakes out just the right time to get back.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The next two, DeYoung. Fastball at 98, misses outside to even it up at 2-2. Again, the Dodgers will have Gonzalez, Utley, and a pinch hitter coming up. Seung-Hwan Oh throwing in the Cardinals pen. Here's a 2-2. Struck him out, froze him. So Morrow gave up the leadoff double to Jerko, gets a couple of strikeouts and no damage done. Cardinals will try to even up the series when we come back. Cardinals. Greg Holland, league leader in saves for Colorado with 19. Fernando Rodney with 13. Pitching now with the Diamondbacks. And Seung-Hwan Oh at 12. 2-0 our score. The Cardinals have had some missed opportunities in this game.
Interesting, the splits. When you look at O's splits, that he's been much tougher on right-handed batters. Again, a very dominant left-handed lineup. And he's going to see 2 lefties to start the 9th inning.
Pitched last night, picked up the save, gave up a hit, struck out 2. And the 0-1. Gonzalez pulls it foul, and it's 0-2. If this holds, this would be the 4th shutout of the year for the Cardinals. And it'd also be another win for Adam Wainwright. He would go to 6-3. He'd be 2nd in the National League in wins. Kershaw was 7. Senzatella was 7. That really puts it in perspective
Sure
how
does.
far he's come in this last 4 or 5 game stretch.
He would be 6-0 in his last 8 starts. ERA under 3.
And the 1-2 doesn't chase on a pitch high. 2-2. Pitched 1 game in Colorado, 1 game against the Dodgers on that road trip through LA and Denver. And a 3-2 pitch now to Gonzalez. Got him on the outside corner, painted it. And Adrian Gonzalez has words with the home plate umpire, Marty Foster.
There haven't been too many complaints here this afternoon. Let's see if Gonzalez had a right. Yes, he did. Ball was outside, and that's a big pitch. Wow. Starting off the 9th inning, you get a strikeout instead of a leadoff walk. I mean, maybe too close to take if you're Gonzalez, but he was still right.
It's the 8th Dodger that is struck out. Here's Chase Utley. Walked twice. Struck out back in the 6th. Yasmani Grandal, the switch hitting catcher, did not start, is moved to the on deck circle. And a fastball on the inside corner.
Did Utley just try to get hit by a pitch that was right over the plate?
Looked that way, didn't it?
I'm going to get hit by this pitch no matter what happens, no matter where it is. I'm going to jump in front of it.
And the 0-1. Now 0-2.
He was asked after the game the other night, do you like getting hit by a pitch? And he said, yeah. I would thought he would have said no, but he said yes. He enjoys it.
That's why he's jumping at a pitch right over the middle of the plate. The 0-2. The Cardinals, with 2 strikes on Utley, for the most part, have been shifting on him, but not in this situation. Here, late innings. 2-0 our score. A ball and 2 strikes. Went with the changeup, and he just got a piece.
Like Rosenthal, I thought O's changeup in Colorado was his best pitch. It's getting better. I mean, the slider is really what you think of when you think of O, but he's going to need that changeup against left-handed batters to neutralize it.
We saw that last night. Here's a 1-2 again. 2-2. Hit down the left field line, foul by about a foot. And ball boy is.
He's having a day, isn't he?
I guess you can't call him a ball boy. He's a ball grown man with a glove. That's his official title. Ball grown man with a glove.
This one eats him up, but this is a tough play. He tries to get it on the short hop. The balance goes, and he ends up in the front row.
The fans there to help him out.
That's what teammates do.
The 2-2. Utley, fly ball near the all-grown man with a glove on, and it's out of play.
All-grown man.
He's not a ball boy. You
That's
can't
right.
call him a ball boy.
I'm racking my brain to think of a better way to describe him, but I think you nailed it.
Just read that in chapter 28 of the Cardinal Way.
I must have missed that chapter.
The 2-2. And a fly ball into right, late break. It'll sink and drop in for a base hit. The tying run will come to the plate.
And this is why you want that extra run. You get one runner aboard, all of a sudden you're talking about the tying run at the plate. It just adds more pressure on your closer. And now you've got Yasmani Grandal, who certainly has the power to tie this game with one swing.
Yasmani Grandal, the switch hitter from the strong side of the diamond. And somebody just got tossed, and it's Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez was arguing the strike call to start this inning.
I'm not sure what benefits the Dodgers to have him out there arguing about it at the moment. I mean, again, he was right, and I don't mind him being tossed, but I'm not sure this is really what's best for the Dodgers after getting a base hit and a runner aboard.
Momentum. And I'm sure Adrian Gonzalez went into their video room, probably took a look at the at bat, saw that it was a call that should have gone his way and didn't. So he's been thrown out.
And by being tossed, I also understand that he's thinking, well, I'm going to get thrown out. I might as well get my money's worth.
Well, if you're the Dodgers, you have one position player now available on your bench. That's Gutierrez. You go into extra innings, you're out of position players, potentially.
That happening just as Grandal is being introduced as the pinch hitter for the pitcher, and that limits the options of Dave Roberts.
I mean, think
Absolutely.
about it. You know,
absolutely.
I mean, a home run ties this game, and you're using Grandal here, and you have Gutierrez, your last available position player. So this side of the plate is his better side. 150 from the other side. He has been very hot and a terrific month of May. The Cardinals would love to have the third double play turn. Now time is called. So one out runner at first, and the first pitch by O. Interesting to watch how Carpenter is holding that runner at first base. Utley, traditionally you'd see middle of the ball game, he's at the bag, but left-handed bat up, 2-run lead. He plays behind, trying to keep him somewhat close.
Yeah, and you're somewhat close to him, so at least he's not going to get a huge lead, and he's going to feel a little bit of your presence, but you're back far enough so you've increased your range. And that's why they do it. If he's in front of the bag, by the time the ball's hit to him, it's just minimal like infield in. It's just, you just have less range. You have less time to react.
It's a ball and a strike on Grandal.
Wouldn't be bad for him to even back up a little bit even after O delivers the ball to the plate.
The changeup. Yachty trying to frame it, and it's 2-1. He's 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs as a pinch hitter. And if you're wondering, he's grounded into 7 double plays. Change up again. 2-2. Back-to-back change-ups from O.
Well, he sold it. Good thing he did sell it because the location was not good.
And the 2-2 pitch struck him out. Grandal getting after the home plate umpire. Dave Roberts has got to try to keep him in the game.
I'm not sure what Grandal is upset about.
Strike one looked to be the same location with Gonzalez. The ball that he was not happy with, that was called a strike. Second pitch of the at bat. There it is. Last time the Cardinals won, where their pitcher was responsible for the RBIs, was in 2009 against Arizona. Joel Pinheiro, 2 RBIs and a double, and a 2-1 win. Today it's Wainwright with a 2-run homer. The Cardinals 1 out away.
Well, the game's still not over, obviously, and if Grandal would have gotten thrown out there, that would have been a bad move for the Dodgers.
He has been thrown out.
He was.
He was.
I did not see that. Well,
first career ejection. Here's Austin Barnes. And that is strike one. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Barnes. And that one goes in the Dodgers' favor. Borderline pitch. Here's a 1-1. Check swing. 2 balls and a strike.
Interesting. We have not had a lot of concern about the strike zone and the maybe mistakes on balls and strikes until we get to the later innings. Everybody a little more tense. That's what close games will do for you.
The 2-1 popped up left side. This should do it. Diaz is calling for it. Who wants it? Aledmus has it. And the Cardinals have a split in the series. They hold on. The final of 2-0 in the shutout. Wainwright picks up the win. Oh, the save. And oh, what a win for St. Louis. Let's turn to our player of the game. Presented by Budweiser. Adam Wainwright, a 2-run homer, 6 innings, only 4 hits allowed. And he's now a 6-game winner. 6 solid innings, 4 hits allowed, both of the RBIs, and a curtain call. It was all Adam Wainwright today against the Dodgers.